Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. If you're looking for jewelry that makes an impact on your self-care routine and your style, Empowerography would love to offer you a discount code to one of our exclusive partners, Quartz and Canary Jewelry and Wellness Company. Please use code EMPOWER15 to receive 15% off upon checkout at www.quartzandcanary.com. Quartz and Canary is truly the place where spirituality meets style. Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast. Today, my guest is Bronwyn Davis. She is a sun care coach and best-selling author. How are you doing today, Bronwyn?
I am doing great, Brad. How are you? This is such a great opportunity and great forum you have provided.
Thank you so much. I am doing amazing. Things couldn't be any better. And I'm just so happy to be here with you right now and have you here, have you as a member of the Empowerography community and be able to dive in and learn more about who you are and what you do and share that with the community. So thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time to be here and I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I appreciate you. You have created such an amazing community here for all of us and for not only us, but for all women. And I know you have big plans. It's going to be global and, so I know you've got big plans here, but I just want to thank you for all that you are doing because it's such an amazing community. And I just, you've opened up so many doors and opportunities for us to meet each other. And so I just thank you for that. This has been a really wonderful experience.
Thank you. I truly appreciate that. That's very kind of you. And thank you for telling me how you feel about the community. It means a lot to hear that, to get that feedback. So thank you. So let's jump in. As I mentioned, you are a best-selling author, you are a sun care coach, and you've also been a coach for 15 plus years. Can you explain for those who might not know or even be aware that this is even a thing in existence, what is a sun care coach? And is there official training to become a sun care coach? Or is this self-proclaimed? How did this all happen? And tell us a bit about it.
Yes. So I am a sun care coach. And as a sun care coach, I empower my clients who are sun sensitive or have skin related conditions. I help them feel confident and connected and free in their skin. And oftentimes, like my possibly of some sort of, possibly it's skin cancer, possibly, vitiligo or psoriasis or eczema. And they're scared. I know I've been diagnosed with skin cancer, vitiligo, and rosacea. So I have skin-related conditions that keep me from being out in the sun. And so oftentimes people are, they get the diagnosis from the dermatologist. They don't know what to do. Their family members, as hard as they try, don't really understand the emotional impact because there's a lot of grieving that goes on because all of a sudden, we live in a sun worshiping culture. And to all of a sudden not be able to be as free out in that sun worshiping culture as before, there's a lot of emotions and a lot of things that go on that a lot of people need help with in understanding what they're feeling because they don't even realize that they're feeling these things.
Yeah. So how did you discover then? I mean, you said you have 3 conditions. How did you discover that this was a thing that people were in need of?
Well, all I knew was at the time, I knew that I felt very alone and very isolated. There wasn't anything out there. And so for years, I suffered silently and alone. I didn't even tell people that I had my skin conditions because I was ashamed and I felt so different and I didn't feel a part of, our culture.
Right.
And so all of a sudden, though, as I started making peace with my skin, because I thought I had been cursed, sun, I was afraid of the sun for decades. and couldn't really go out freely like I wanted. And so what I realized was, though, that as I started making peace with my skin and started slowly starting to share my story with others, I started hearing other people's stories. And it was like, oh my gosh, there are other people out there like me. And it just became my mission and my passion that I did not want anyone else to suffer alone with their condition. So it started off by a Facebook group that I started called Soul Support for the Sun Sensitive. And it's really open to everyone and anyone who is wanting that connection, who wants to share their story in a safe container. I also provide education on how to best, be out in the sun. But a lot of it is about community and really feeling like you're not alone anymore. And it was out of that, when I started hearing everyone's stories, that I realized, oh my gosh, there is an opportunity here for me to take my 15 plus years of high performance coaching skills and wisdom. Here I've been coaching CEOs and business owners from all over the world for years. Thought, wow, I want to take these skills and really apply it to people who had been suffering like I had. And so it's just become this beautiful thing. Like, I never in a million years thought all this training for my high performance coaching and success coaching was going to lead me here, but it has truly, like, my heart is overflowing with the opportunity to serve my clients in the way that I do.
I love that. And all that coming from you standing up and sharing your story, which of course in turn will usually give people, as you witnessed, it gives people the permission to stand up and say, hey, I'm not the only one here. Someone else is dealing. So I feel more comfortable. I can share my story, and so on. And that whole domino effect. And it just, as you said, it's created and built this community and safe place for people to share their stories, which is great. I think that's amazing that you've been able to create that community, but utilize your high performance or high skill level coaching skills to turn it into something else. That I guess this kind of, I would think that this is a bigger purpose for the coaching than helping entrepreneurs and those high level people with your coaching. This serves a bigger purpose.
Well,
or a different purpose.
It is a different purpose, because I've done a lot of great work with my clients who are running, multi-million dollar companies, tens of millions of dollars companies, worldwide. And I've added a lot of benefit to them through the years. What this does is it takes something that to me is so personal. Yeah. Like, I have been sun sensitive since I was a little girl, growing up in Southern California, just walking distance from the beach, and every day coming home just blistered and so sunburned, and not understanding, you have to remember back then, sunscreen awareness wasn't what it is today. Yeah, so we didn't know. We thought laying out in baby oil and that the whole thing was what we were to do. And so starting off my sun sensitivity as a very young girl, and then at 12 years old, my doctor, my pediatrician, looked at all the scarring on my nose and my cheeks from the many, many sunburns I had gotten, and said to me at 12 years old, if you get one more sunburn, you're going to get skin cancer.
Holy shit.
And that changed the trajectory of my life. At 12 years old, that scared me. And here I am. I still live in Southern California, but I can't go out in the sun with all my friends and my siblings that were out at the beach every day. So I spent a lot of time alone and isolated. And I truly thought, Brad, I thought I would have been cursed. That I couldn't, be outside and go outside like normal people. And
play
I just
with your
so
friends
bad
like kids do.
Exactly. And I just so badly wanted to fit in and to feel, the same and normal, but I wasn't normal. And that was like decades of that until in my 40s, I was diagnosed with the vitiligo.
Right.
And vitiligo is where the immune system attacks the pigment in your skin. And so it's the pigment, though, that protects your skin from the sun's harmful UV rays. So all of a sudden, like this double whammy is like, so I really now cannot go out in the sun. I have white patches all over my body. So again, I thought I've been double cursed now, like this is just really, really hard. And I felt a lot of shame, and there were just many times when I felt very alone and isolated. And then being diagnosed with skin cancer in this past year. So again, feeling this curse. But what I feel now is I have what I thought was my curse has actually turned into my cause. And so when you talk about the bigger purpose and the greater purpose, this is so personal to me and has been something that I have felt so deeply since I was a little girl that, yes, to be able to do this work now and to help others feel not so isolated or to feel empowered and feel confident in their skin, it is like no other feeling. My heart just is overflowing with joy and passion. And every time I have a coaching call, I get off just going, oh my gosh, this is why I was put on this planet Earth. So absolutely, yes to your question. Absolutely.
Why should people seek or use a sun care coach, Bronwyn?
So oftentimes, as I mentioned, when someone first gets a diagnosis, it's as if they're just so like shocked, like it comes out of nowhere or oftentimes it can. And many of my clients, they don't have the support system around them. No one in their family, like I grew up, no one else in my family is sun sensitive. No one else has vitiligo. So there is a lot of emotional component to this. First of all, how do I navigate not being able to go out to the pool like everyone does in summer? How do I navigate not being able to go to the lake? And we've always spent all of our vacations, in the tropics. So I'm there to step in and help navigate those type of things. But where I really think my gifts and talents come in is there are a lot of people who get the diagnosis of whatever it might be, and they feel so much emotion. They don't know how to process them. They may try to, go to their family and try to talk about it, but truly, as much as their family loves them, they can't understand unless they're in their shoes.
Right.
And so I'm in their shoes. Plus, I have the skills to then help them move through their emotion so that they come out the victor, the heroine or the hero in their story. Because oftentimes they're looking at what they've lost. They're looking at, well, I can't go out in the sun anymore, and I can't go on these vacations anymore, and I've lost, my ability to feel free, and I've lost this, so they're really looking at all they've lost. So I help them reframe it so that they come out empowered and confident to go out and slay their life even more than they did prior to getting the diagnosis. So it's super exciting what I have been able to guide my clients to, because now they're out, being successful, showing up in their careers. I've had, clients with all sorts of conditions. So whether it's eczema, solar urticaria, which is a sun allergy, lupus is another thing that people can't, it makes it hard for them to go out in the sun. And in every single case, we've been able to reframe and shift it so that they are the ones who are in control, and they are the ones that are just empowered and have so much confidence and connection and the support and the freedom that they just felt that they had lost, because they're now even more free.
I love it. I can just, the passion and the excitement in your voice as you talk, it just oozes out of you that you love what you're doing and you love helping and being able to help these people get over those. I think it's incredible what you're doing. And you can feel it. I can feel it coming through the screen, talking to you, the passion and the love for what you're doing. I think it's amazing. It's infectious. It's really incredible. So is sun sensitivity a really common thing then that people deal with? I mean, aside from hearing about it from you and we have a mutual friend that has a skin condition that she deals with, but is the sun sensitivity in particular a very common thing? And are there any stats on the amount of people that have this condition that you know of?
So sun sensitivity is way more common than people think.
Okay.
And really what it is, if you have any sort of reaction to going out in the sun, you are sun sensitive, whether your reaction is from a skin condition or even from medications. A lot of medications, and people don't know this, they're maybe on a medication and, they go out in the sun. They've never had a problem before, and they come back and they are just blistered. And they maybe were only out in the sun for 10, 15 minutes. It's way more common than you would think, but it's not talked about very often, which is so interesting to me because I feel like this is the way I was for all those decades. I didn't talk about it. I was ashamed to talk about it. I felt like, oh my gosh, no one's going to understand. But I think the more we bring it up and the more we just debunk any sort of stigma around it, the better we're all going to be.
Absolutely. So, education is key.
Yes. So beyond, a skin condition, there are sun allergies that a lot of people have due to various reasons. So I don't have any stats because it's so big. Like there's, when you think about just skin cancer, like people with skin cancer can't be out in the sun. They have to cover up. They can be out. And that's one of the things that I share with my clients. For so many years, I was afraid of the sun. It was as if it was my enemy and I was afraid of it. Every time I'd go outside, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I've got to hide and I've got to, but I learned to empower myself. I looked into and started researching, okay, how can I be out in the sun freely? And I learned about wide brim hats. I learned about sun protective clothing. I learned about, sunscreen, UVA and UVB sunscreen. I learned about, wearing sunglasses, UVA and UVB protection. So I had to do a lot of research and so that I felt comfortable because I wasn't going out during the day at all. But I felt caged. I didn't want to feel that way. I didn't want to feel like I wasn't free. And I started putting on my sun protective clothing and wearing my wide brim hats. And I stopped caring what anyone else thought. I just stopped caring. It just didn't matter anymore. Because I wanted to be outside and I wanted to live my life and I wanted to stop hiding. I was hiding for decades. It makes me emotional now because it's like I want to reach anyone else who feels that they can't be out in the sun because they can with the right tools, but also with the right community, that we're all cheering each other on, that we're all in this together. And there were times even after when the doctor said, if you get one more burn, there were times as much as I tried to stay, to not get a sunburn, that I still got sunburn. And it, again, I had no one to talk to. I didn't have a community then. So we all come together and we share our stories so that we can uplift each other and cheer each other on. And then, too, in our community, if anyone comes across some company that maybe is having a sale or, there's cute sun safe clothing out, we share all that information with each other.
That's it. Knowledge is power, right? And that community piece of it is a key element because, again, it helps lift one another up and support one another. When someone's dealing with something, there's someone else, as you said, when you were a kid, no one else. And even now, people that are dealing with it, that their family members, they don't know what you're going through because they haven't experienced it. So they don't know. So that's where the community element is so key and so helpful for everybody. And I'm a huge believer in community. With community, you cannot lose. It's a win-win. There's only upside to having community. And that's that support piece that is so integral in all of that. When you're going through something like that and having to deal with it, to have that support system to lean on is so important. So I think that's amazing. Now,
thank you.
What are some of the effects that people have to deal with that suffer from the sun sensitivity issues? Like you had mentioned blistering. What are some of the other things that you have seen or experienced yourself even?
Well, so blistering is the big one because anytime the sun, I have clients that can't even stand near a window because they can feel the burn come through the window. They can't even drive because they feel the burn come through the window. So there are such things as sun protective sleeves and, because the left side of the body is where most people get skin cancer. And that's because of driving. Right. So as far as the effects, it could be burning, it could be blistering, and it could last for days and even weeks. Just even some people have to have completely shut the shutters and just be holed up because the sun, it's the UV rays that are having the reaction with their skin. So it can show up in different ways. It can feel like a burn. It could actually blister. It's just uncomfortable. You just don't want to continue subjecting yourself to it because it's uncomfortable. And there is lots of different sun allergies out there. So there are different ones that have different ways that present themselves. Right. One of my clients has solar urticaria, which is a sun allergy. And within 15 minutes, she could just be completely blistered, even if she's covered the whole bit. So it's something very, very serious and very overlooked. People just, and oftentimes, Brad, I hear from my clients that those around them, their family and friends who they're well-intentioned, but they just don't understand. And they say, oh, you're just faking it. Or, you're just making this up because you don't want to have to go out. And
how can you fake something like that, though? There's physical proof. You're getting blistered and burned. How can you fake that? You can't.
It's because it is so hard for people to understand.
That's horrible. I couldn't imagine being that sensitive that you can't even stand beside a window that it burns or you can't draw. That is a horrible thing to have to do. I can't imagine the inner turmoil and the struggle within going through and dealing with. That's crazy.
Yes, exactly. And that's where my gifts and talents come in, is where I can educate them on how to go out. But where I really get, can stand up and use all my 15 plus years of coaching skills is really helping them with the emotional piece and really helping them with the mindset piece. Because what ends up happening is, they become afraid to go out, afraid to express their true feelings to family and friends because they don't want to be criticized, so I work with them to empower them to use their voice, to talk about what they're going through. And, just even as something as simple, Brad, as being with a group of friends and we're out to lunch, speaking up and requesting that we get a table in the shade. Because, oftentimes, we don't want to make a fuss, or we don't want to draw attention to us, and we don't speak up, and then we're miserable and we're uncomfortable. So even just helping them speak their truth and have the confidence to really speak up for themselves, to own it, to have that, freedom that they feel that they have lost. And oftentimes I find my clients, they take it as the sun is their enemy, as I did. And so what starts happening is inside you start, every time like, oh my gosh, there's just so much fear. You start clenching up, you start like going, oh my God, I got to do this and I got to, and it just gets really, really scary to even live your life. And I've been able to help my clients reframe that so that there's this healthy respect for the sun, and that the sun is their friend, and that they can freely go out in the sun and really own it without excuses, without anything, and being able to just speak their truth and really go out and
normally,
shine.
as they say.
Yeah.
That's
and to
huge.
be the sunshine, to be the light, to actually take what they thought was their, enemy and turn it into their best friend, because now they're drawing energy from the light and becoming the light.
I love it. That's beautiful. Can you share maybe one or two of your success stories of your clients that you've worked with?
Absolutely. And I want to say I love each one of my clients. It is such an honor and such a gift to be able to assist and guide my clients, because their stories are they're so rich and they're so deep and they're so personal. So to have the opportunity to actually hear these stories is such a gift to me. But I've had clients who have had one client in particular who has eczema. And eczema is a skin condition that can end up having patches and sore spots on their skin. And she in particular, so there were two components to this. She was afraid to really show up in her business and in her career, because she was afraid of the eczema and the way it was showing up. Then there was another component to it, and that is she was afraid to be intimate with her partner because she was self-conscious and didn't feel comfortable in her skin. So through coaching her and through really getting to the root of it, what was really going on, because it wasn't about her not showing up to her business, and it wasn't really about how she felt her partner was going to feel. It was how she felt about herself in having eczema. So we got to the root and worked on that, because it was how she was perceiving herself. And once we unlocked that for her, we got to see, oh my gosh, this woman is now thriving and really doesn't care anymore what anyone else thinks, because she within herself is just so confident and is just glowing, doesn't care what anyone else thinks, because she is owning it and she's owning her life. So that's one example. Another example is a woman who really was afraid of the sun. Like, it had become her enemy. She even used those words. It's my enemy. And so in helping her feel more free, again, we had to reframe her thinking. Subconsciously, she was like fearing the sun and feeling like a lot of anxiety and emotion around it, thinking, oh my gosh, spring's coming, summer's coming. What am I going to do? And we got to reframe her thinking so that the sun became her friend, and the sun is something that she can now be out in. And she was so cute, because we got to really envision what it would feel like for her to be out and go out and do all the things that she wanted to do. And she got to see herself do it. And then she said, what is different is she noticed that she was wearing different clothing, but it was okay. She didn't care that she was wearing a hat and that she was wearing, fun, cute, sun-safe clothing. She just didn't care anymore. So that was really, really empowering and just I have so many stories and so many clients to share with you. But the bottom line is that they really come out of my coaching feeling empowered. What they were most afraid of ends up being the gateway for them really reaching their highest potential, because here all along, they have seen that as their shadow self, as something that has been keeping them back. When in reality, when we start bringing all sides of us, all parts of us together, they come together to create this whole, the whole person. And it makes us even more empowered than we could ever have imagined. So it's so beautiful for me to see that and to watch them just flourish.
Transformation. You're witnessing transformation. Yes. It's incredible. Now, as you mentioned, of course, people with skin-related conditions, sun sensitivity, you're going to be self-conscious. That's just, as you mentioned, all your clients start out that way about their condition. They don't love their skin. I myself suffer with psoriasis. So I know, I mean, sometimes when I look at myself in the mirror, it's like, oh my God, it really bothers me. It affects me. So what is one piece of advice you could give to people like myself or anyone else who may suffer from a skin condition? Just one piece of advice you could give to help them start to get past those self-image issues?
Beautiful question. The one piece of advice I would give is to start noticing the thoughts that you have regarding your skin. Start noticing every time you criticize your skin. Every time you look at it and tug at it, or every time you look in the mirror and, you're looking at all the spots and everything, start noticing what you're saying, because your skin is hearing everything you're saying and thinking about it. And so the moment you start really realizing what you are saying is when you can start reframing it and being kind to your skin. To really start affirming your skin. And really, I mean, our skin is what is keeping us alive. It's the largest organ in our body. And imagine if we are sitting there attacking it mentally and verbally and attacking it and putting it down and feeling, like it's not our friend and it's not serving us. Imagine what that does. I mean, like the law of attraction, what you think about expands. So the more you're criticizing your skin, the more you're going to have skin problems. So my encouragement would be to start loving your skin. Start with affirmations. Once you realize what you're saying, start with affirmations. Really start taking the time with your skin. One of the practices that I have is whenever I get out of the shower and I'm putting on moisturizer, I have a really, really beautiful, thick, supple moisturizer, that I take and I slowly go ahead and I start at my feet and I just thank my feet and I thank the skin on my feet. And then I go up to my calves and my knees and, my body to really take the moment. Because how many times do we just get out of the shower and just slap stuff on and run out the door?
Go, yeah.
But we don't take the time to acknowledge it and thank our skin. So I would say the biggest thing is gratitude, showing gratitude with your skin by the way you eat, by the way you drink, making sure you're hydrated, by the way you just really, really care for it in a beautiful way with moisturizer or however you do it.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So, Bronwyn, with the work you're doing right now, what are your thoughts? Because it's our skin, it's front facing, people see it, right? So beauty, what are your thoughts on the beauty industry as a whole and the unrealistic standards around beauty and that have been created through social media and how kids are dealing with it these days, specifically young girls?
Yes. I believe this is why we have so many young girls who are going to tanning beds. I mean, that's one of the highest rates of skin cancer is young girls in their teens who are going to tanning beds. And I think it really is our culture. It's our media. It's social media. It's even, TV. They're telling us from a very, very young age, from the moment we're born, that our skin isn't good enough, that our skin, no matter what color, no matter what texture, no matter what, that it's not good enough. And I think, we are in a culture that here we are, in social media with filters and no one ever shows their flaws. I think it's damaging to our young kids. I just do. There's no good that's going to come out of it other than the industries that are promoting more cream or more product that you need to put on your face in order to be different than what you currently are.
Yeah.
And so, I'm very, very passionate about that because I can see what social media is doing, to these young girls. And then the stats prove it. Again, skin cancer in teenage girls.
It's horrible.
I know. And so I just hope that with the work that I'm doing and that I can, keep getting the message out that really you are beautiful just the way you are,
That's key.
Without any filters, no matter what color. And again, what texture, it doesn't matter. It's you. You are unique.
Yeah.
You are beautiful.
100%.
You don't need to be anything different than what you currently are.
What lights you up or inspires you the most about the coaching work you're doing?
I love watching my clients transform. I think from a very young age, I have been that type of person that just loves to see transformation and change. I just do. And I work hard on myself too, to transform and change. I love it when I'm able to offer a suggestion or guide someone in a certain way that all of a sudden the light bulb goes off. I've heard my clients say this. I have been carrying this burden for 50 years. And now I feel free. So to hear that and to get that type of response and impact, it's just like, it's why I'm on this earth.
Yeah, there's nothing better. That feeling of having impact and seeing the light go on in the eyes when you help someone transform and seeing that actual process happen. It's a pretty incredible feeling for sure. As mentioned previously, you've been a coach for 15 plus years. So can you tell us a little bit more about the coaching you were doing before you moved into sun care coaching?
Absolutely. So I've been a success coach, and after many years, I've earned the elite status of high performance coaching. It is the highest rated certification in the world. And I'm very, very proud of that. I have helped thousands of clients with their businesses. I've helped them with their mindset. I've helped them increase their energy. I've helped them, get clear on the direction they're not only that they're going to go, but their company is going to go. So I'm very proud of that work and still continue having those clients as well. But now, as I talked about, I love transforming. And this just feels like it is something that is really calling to my heart. And I've had success in my careers as well. I'm a best-selling, award-winning author. My book was endorsed by Deepak Chopra, Wayne Dyer, Marianne Williamson, Neil Donald Walsh.
That's
so
huge.
I've had some great successes and continue to with my clients and just feel very, very blessed. Like I have a blessed life and I want to serve. I'm at a time in my life now where serving, and I was always serving, but this just feels like the right area for me to serve now. And again, it's an expansion of my current coaching.
Love it. Now, how easily transferable were your skills as a high performance coach to the type of coaching you're currently doing?
So they're very transferable because a lot of what we do in high performance coaching is work on the mindset. We work on getting clear. We work on getting, getting our energy up. We work on, because my clients have big goals, they have big goals. So they've got to make sure that they have the energy. They've got to make sure they have the courage to go after their goals. They have to make sure that they have the influence and the persuasion skills. So a lot of that, when we apply it over to now my sun care coaching, what are we talking about? We're talking about getting clear about what is it they're really afraid of here? Because they may say, I'm afraid of the sun, or I'm afraid of, being out with my partner or with my business or whatever. That's what they're saying. But underneath, it's really so much more. And with 15 plus years of coaching, I use my intuitive skills as well to really get to the root. I'm able to hear things that they can't even speak, but I hear them, and I am able to get in places that people have never been able to get into before. So I think that's very easily transferable because I use my intuition. And we all want clarity on what's holding us back. We all want to have the energy to get out and do and live our lives to the fullest. Sure, we all want to have the courage to speak up and to feel confident, and just to really empower
and to
ourselves.
Be heard.
And to be heard. Yeah.
That's
to
it.
Have the influence to be able to speak and be heard.
Yeah.
And to 100%. Be seen.
Absolutely.
So it's right across the line. It's the same skills.
Lateral. Love it. So as you briefly touched on in the previous question, you are also a best-selling and award-winning author. Can you tell us a bit about your journey as an author and tell us about the book? Is there more than one, or is it just one? Tell us a little bit about that.
It's actually a book that I wrote in 2005. It was published in 2005.
Okay.
And it's called The Food is a Lie. The Truth is Within. And it's a spiritual solution to weight loss and balanced health. And so it was my journey. It's a story about my journey with binge eating disorder. After the book was published, as I said, Deepak Chopra, Neil Donald Walsh, Wayne Dyer, Marianne Williamson, they all endorsed it, which was really quite an honor for me. I spent a decade being out speaking about this topic and helped thousands of people really look within, because it's not about the food. It's really not about the food, even though we think, oh my God, the food, it's calling me, but it's really about what's going on inside. Right. And I was able to help a lot of people through that book. It is still available. It's on Amazon.
And that's quite a feather in your cap to have all of these people endorsing your book. I mean, those are huge names to have. So yes. Congratulations for that. I think that's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It is an honor. You're right. And I have felt very honored and very grateful to each one of them for taking the time to endorse it.
Bronwyn, what do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become successful?
I would say my intuition. My intuition, it's like once I started to trust it, and once I started to really go with it and speak it and act it out and whatever I was being told, even if it didn't make sense, I have found that it's my intuition that has made me the best coach that I can be, that makes me, the best leader in my group, that really makes me the best of who I am, because I now trust it without a shadow of a doubt. It's like, It has led me to where I am today and to be able to work with the people that I do. And it has opened me up to so many possibilities. So I live it, I look for it, I listen for it, I meditate, I really do everything I can to help my intuition flourish.
Bronwyn, how do you define success? What does that word mean to you?
A great question. Success to me means being able to go to bed at the end of the day, lay my head on the pillow, and know that I have given the day my best shot. And when I string those days, day after day after day, I feel like there's nothing else. Like I feel successful. I feel good. I feel like I'm on the right path. It's all about how I feel I'm showing up. And if I'm showing up in integrity, if I'm being honest with myself and others, if I'm doing my best because I set out a goal and I said I wanted to do this. And if at the end of the day, I'm able to say, yeah, I did that. And I was kind. I helped someone today. All of those things make up success for me.
What would you say is one of the most important things you've learned in your life? And what was your life like before learning it? And what was your life like after learning it?
I think one of the biggest things that I have learned is that we're never alone. If we don't want to be alone, we do not have to be alone. There were so many decades that I felt that I was alone, like that no one else would understand what I was going through. And I was wrong. There were a lot of people that would have understood, but I didn't trust that. And I didn't reach out and I didn't speak up for myself. And my encouragement, and this is why I created the group, is because I vowed to myself, I didn't want anyone else to go through this alone. We're here for you. We're here to support you, to celebrate you, to let you know you're not alone. You never have been. We're all going through this together.
Love that. That's so important. Again, like that community, that sense of community, and having that support system in place, and realizing that you're not alone. There are other people out there who are going through maybe not the exact same thing as you, but something similar, and they can relate and help you, right? As a support system.
Yes,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Who in your life has had the biggest impact on you and why?
I would say my sister. My sister, Michelle, has had the biggest impact on me. And I get emotional. I get emotional about this because she saw me. She heard me. She has believed in me since we were both little girls. And we are like best of friends. We love each other so much. But there were times in my life where she believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. And she was the one that lifted me up. She was the one that cheered me on. So just as now I'm a cheerleader for others and I'm boosting people up, I have people behind me that have boosted me up. And the biggest one, my number one fan, is my sister,
I love
Michelle. And I too am her number one fan. Like, I love her so much, and we have a really, really close connection. I'm grateful for her.
That's so beautiful, Bronwyn. Thank you for sharing that vulnerable moment. I appreciate that. That's beautiful. What does the best version of you look like when you close your eyes and imagine it?
So I know there is so much more out there for me. The best version of my life is yet to be lived. Like, I feel like I am just starting. This is like the second half of my life, and I'm ready to go. So the best version of me, I haven't stepped into yet, but what it looks like is a version of who I am today, just grander, on a bigger scale, just more global, because I really, really believe and feel the person I am today is the absolute best foundation that I could have in order to get me to that best version of myself. It's just going to be me on steroids.
I love that.
On steroids.
Bronwyn on steroids. I love it. That's amazing.
And the reason why I say that is because I am living my truth. I am speaking my truth. I am stepping into my power. I do feel confident. I do have my passion. I have turned what I thought was my curse into my cause. Like, there's no better feeling than that, to know you're on path. And
Absolutely.
so that's why I just know that it's just going to keep getting better and better and better.
Love that. I love your outlook. It's amazing. It's inspiring, truly. And speaking of inspiration, what do you do to keep yourself inspired and inspire others every day?
So I do have a regular meditation practice.
Okay.
I meditate every day. There's just I can't do this work without first filling myself up first. I love waking up early. I get up really, really early. I love having that quiet time. And then I get up and I'll go to the gym, or I'll watch the sunrise and walk around the lake, whatever that might look like, to fill myself up first. I make sure that I do that, because if I don't, then I'm not going to be as beneficial to my clients and to my life. I'm not going to show up in the best way. So I know that there are certain things that I must do in the morning, and I love each one of them. I mean, all of them are very enriching. It's meditation, exercise, a little bit of reading, some journaling, all the things that fill me up. I love eating well. I eat real high quality foods to make sure that I'm keeping myself in the best light and the best energy.
Okay, we're going to jump into a little rapid fire section here. So the next grouping of questions just be 2, 3, 4 word answer type thing. Okay. What was your dream job as a child?
To be a television news anchor and reporter. And I became one.
You achieved your dream. I love that. What is the first thing you notice about a person?
Their eyes.
How would you describe yourself in one word?
Powerful.
What is one of your favorite quotes?
Be the change you want to see in the world.
I love that one. If you could teach the world one thing, what would you teach? What would you share?
Be you. Be unapologetically you. Because there's only one you, and you were meant to be here to serve and be you. No one else. No one else can do you the way you were meant to do you.
Beautiful. What is one thing you want but cannot buy with money?
That's an interesting question, because I feel like I have everything I want. As far as, when I think of what I want, I have joy, but money can't buy joy.
Yeah.
Money can't buy passion. Money can't buy love, all those things. And I feel I have it. Okay. I have joy because I know where joy comes from. I know where love comes from. I know where, wisdom comes from. It comes from within. So all I have to do is go within, pull it up, and have it.
Okay. Love it. If you could change one thing about the world, what would you change?
For us to love each other, to really love each other.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Exactly as we are, without trying to change each other. Just love each other.
If you came with a warning label, what would yours say?
Warning. She is so passionate. She is on fire. So jump along for the ride, but don't try to stop her.
Excellent. That concludes our rapid fire section. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. Bronwyn, what is your why?
My why, it's so deep and it's so personal, because my why is for all the people who feel that they are suffering and with their skin condition. And the reason why I say it's so personal to me is because my why is for the little girl in me. I want to serve for the little girl in me. It's so important. Like, I want to be the person that I didn't have when I was growing up. I want to be that person that tells the little girl, it's going to be okay. You're okay. Exactly as you are. You're okay. We make it. We win. We're here. And I want to be that for every single person who is suffering with some sort of sun sensitivity or skin related condition, because I know the self-doubt that they feel. I know the isolation and that they don't feel anyone understands them, but I do. I know them. I see them. I hear them. And it's about seeing them as I now see that little girl who didn't, when she was growing up, have anyone really see or hear her.
That is powerful. So powerful.
Thank you.
If you had the opportunity to sit down with one woman, any woman in the world, alive or dead, who would it be and why?
I would love to sit down with my grandma Carol. And I say that because she is someone who was so powerful in her own right and so articulate, so well educated, and had such a presence. And she served, she loved people. She was very generous. And I actually lived with my grandma Carol in between when I was in college. Well, I was taking summer school, and she lived in the city that I was going to college. I went to USC. So she lived in Los Angeles. And I feel like every night at dinner, I would ask her questions and we would talk, and I wanted to hear more about her life. But I was at the time like 19, 20 years old. But the questions I would have for her today would be totally different. And I would just love the opportunity to ask her questions about what I'm going through now and how she sees the world now. I think it would be just the most fascinating conversation from her vantage point.
Well, thank you again for sharing yet another vulnerable moment. I appreciate that. That's beautiful. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
It would be to know that you're okay. You're okay. You make it. You're beautiful. You're fine. You don't need to worry. You are seen. You are heard. You do surround yourself with the people who end up, just really loving and supporting you. You end up being the woman you've always envisioned yourself to be. And I say that because as a very, very young girl, 3 years old, I had a huge vision of my life. And it was so big at 3 years old that it actually scared me, because as a 3-year-old, what do you mean? And so I want to let her know that she makes it.
Beautiful. Lastly, Bronwyn, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, like your corner of the world, your people, your tribe, what would that last 30 seconds sound like? What would you say? What words of wisdom would you impart?
I would want them to know that they are so much more than their skin. There is so much more to them. There is so much more life for them to live. There is so much more sunshine, so much more than just their skin, because what happens is we become hyper-focused on all the things that we don't have and all that's not working for us. And I want to help them lift their heads up to go, there is such a beautiful life for them to live, and it's just waiting for them.
Thank you so much, Bronwyn. Like I said before, I can feel the passion and the excitement and all of that come through in your voice. It's beautiful to see someone who is so passionate about what they're doing and believes so deeply in what they're doing. It's incredibly powerful. So thank you so much for taking the time to be here today and share a bit about your story and your journey and struggles and what you've overcome. And I am so grateful to have you as a member of the Empowerography community. I am so grateful that our paths crossed, and I am so appreciative for this conversation. It was incredibly beautiful. I thoroughly enjoyed every minute of it. Thank you so much for making and taking the time to be here today. I appreciate you so much.
Well, thank you, Brad. Thank you for this opportunity. And thank you for all you have done for this beautiful Empowerography community. Truly, there are no words. You are, I see you tirelessly every day, working to make it amazing. And you're doing that. So thank you. Thank you.
It was my pleasure and my honor. Once again, my name is Brad Walsh, host of your Empowerography podcast. Today, my guest has been Bronwyn Davis. She is a best-selling author and a sun care coach. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Have an amazing rest of the day, Bronwyn.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at viseuphoria.ca and follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.